Hello. I'm just going to wait just a minute for folks to pop on here. I'm sorry it's a little dark in my office right now. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll see if anybody gets on. And we can talk about a fresh start to our businesses for the new catalog season. Hello, whoever just joined. Hi. How are y'all tonight? I don't even know if I have comments up here. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Some people are popping on, so I'll just kind of wait a few minutes to get going. But I wanted to just say hello and welcome to United University. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just wondering how you are recovering from the month-end madness hangover. Anybody else experience that? I literally had a migraine that day, so just getting myself caught up from all the January fun, and now brand new catalog. We're 3 days into a brand new catalog? Super exciting. So just while we're waiting for everybody to get up here, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself. And I don't know about you guys, but where you all live, but I'm in North Carolina, so it's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. But right now in North Carolina, we're having what we affectionately refer to as spring deception, but I actually think this is part 2. So this week the temps are in like the 70s, like high 60s, or I can't even talk tonight, 60s, 70s temperature. Okay, so for us that's kind of warm, and so what that means is that it's super warm in the middle of winter, and but it's got me all in my spring feels because the new catalog released 3 days ago, right? And so I'm just really excited about all the new things, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. So last week, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see the training from Deanie, the OG. That was an amazing training, so if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. That was really inspirational to me. I have my notes over here. My computer's going black. Okay. My name is Katie Johnson. I am from a small northeast North Carolina rural town. And I'm like right on the Virginia line. So like when I go running, I can run to another state and back, but don't be too impressed because it's only like 1.25 miles. But, so I live right in North Carolina, Virginia line. And I've been a consultant for 7 years. I am the director of Team Warmed Blessings. Love my team. Shout out you guys who are up here. I am the wife of an NCDOT engineer and a carpenter hobbyist, and I get to enjoy the benefits of that. And I am the mom of a 7-year-old little boy and a 4-year-old little girl, and Scentsy is all they've ever known mommy to do besides be a librarian for a small time in there. I am a former teacher and a librarian, so that's why I have my notes over here, because lesson planning used to be my life, and it's hard to stray away from that. But I've done Scentsy in the last 7 years as a stay-at-home mom, as a full-time work outside of the home mom, and now it is the job I do at home with a kid mom. I am a Scentsy lifer. This is the longest I've ever held down any job or career, and I do what I do for many reasons, but my favorite is the availability that I have to be with my kids, to be as present with them as I can possibly be, and still also contribute to my family's income. So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your evening to show up for your business, and to come check out this training tonight. So I hope I can do all right by you guys, and that you all can get a takeaway or two from this. So here we go. I wanted to piggyback a little bit off of the amazing trainings from the last couple of weeks. I've been super encouraged to do some big things in 2020 in my business. With the new catalog just debuting a couple of days ago, and we're only in the second month of the year, spring is well on its way, I just thought it would be appropriate to talk about a fresh start to our businesses. And now is a perfect time, right? So each letter of the word fresh stands for something that maybe you can take an action item out of it and carry it into your business, and just see what that might inspire you to do within your business, and to possibly, make your situation a little better. Not sure. But here we go. So F stands for front load and follow up. Okay. I'm going to, I have a lot to say on both of these topics, but I'm going to try to streamline it for you guys. But front loading your calendar just means being proactive in your asking. Okay. So think about it like this. Valentine's candy was out in the stores on Christmas Day. That's big box stores' way of securing sales from you guys, from us, right? As consumers, for as soon as they can, for as long as they can. So how many of you have already purchased the Easter egg, the Reese's candy, the Easter eggs? Yeah. Some of you dig the trees at Christmas time. Some people like the hearts. I like the Easter eggs. For me, they just taste different. Maybe that's all in my head. But those are the ones that I buy. Guess what, guys? Those are already out now, and Easter's not even until April. So there's that. And definitely the big box stores, whatever you want to call them, have secured some of my some money from me with those Easter eggs that they already have out, and it's not even Valentine's Day. So that's those businesses front loading their sales, okay? So because we're in February now, and it is a new catalog and we're all excited about that, it is a good time to be thinking about your business in the next couple of months. Typically businesses are thinking sometimes 3 months or more ahead. And so I like to tell, especially my team, like we're in February now, we actually have a running announcement at the top of our Facebook group where we put in there things that are going on in the next couple of weeks to the next couple of months so that people can be proactively thinking about their business and how they can front load their sales and their parties, their calendar, all the things, right? So right now, our team is already talking about not just Valentine's. I mean, I know we've got that for in a couple of weeks, but we're already looking at March and things like spring baskets and Easter baskets and St. Patrick's Day and spring cleaning and all the different things that come along in March, because we want to be sure that we're front loading our calendar at least 1 month ahead, if not more, right? So that's just thinking ahead as a business owner. Front loading your calendar is set up so that you don't wake up on the 1st of the month or the 3rd of the month and go, what am I going to do today in my business? It's a way to keep you ahead, right? Excuse me. But if that is you today and you've woke up on February 3rd and you're like, I don't really have a plan for the month. That's a new catalog, so that's a kind of a plan in and of itself. Today is the day to make some moves towards your February and your March, okay? So I encourage you just to start by starting. Simple enough, right? What I have, so now we're going to move on into follow-up. So what I have learned coaching with my team lately, and I feel like this is a topic that for me teaching them, I feel like I beat it to death because it's something that I'm passionate about and I talk about it all the time, but it's follow-up. The follow-up in your business is so important. And you may have heard, if you've been around Scentsy or direct sales at any time of, I can't even talk, any amount of time, you may have heard that the fortune is in the follow-up. But what I have found with coaching with some of my teammates, some of my rock stars on my team, is that they're not very consistent in their follow-up because they fear it. They fear the follow-up. But I encourage you guys to just be brave and conquer that, because the fortune really, truly is in the follow-up. To me, follow-up is the number one business move that you can make in your business in any given day. Any given day. Because your follow-up is an opportunity to talk to your customers. It's an opportunity to follow up with your hosts who may currently have a party out, do some host coaching with them. An opportunity for you to follow up with anyone who may be interested in the opportunity or that you've talked to or they've expressed an interest to you. So I firmly stand behind follow-up as the number one income-producing activity you can do in your business any day of the week. Right now, because we're in a new catalog, it's a great time for you to be following up with your customers from the last catalog season, the fall and winter. Or if you've been around for a while, maybe now is a good time to pull up your sales reports and see who purchased from you back in March of 2019. Because back in March of 2019, those of you who may be newer, that was when the spring and summer 2019 catalog came out, was in March. So pulling your sales report and seeing who made purchases then, seeing what they purchased. Lemon Verbena came back, or anybody who purchased Squeeze the Day when it came back as a scent of the month. or when it came out as a scent of the month. Those are some reports that you can pull that Scentsy graciously gives us that's in our reporting tab of our workstation. So go and pull some of those and see who you can follow up with. Reach out and ask these customers of yours, do they need a new catalog? Do they need to book a new party for this catalog season? And the answer is yes. I encourage consistent follow-up throughout the year within a system. There are so many systems out there, and I can't tell you which one's going to work for you. I know what works for me. But I can tell you that on YouTube and your workstation, there is a plethora of information and videos and trainings out there on different systems that you can use, whether they be electronic versions or paper versions or paid versions or free versions, like the Sell with Amy app that some of you may have heard of, or even Trello. A system matters, and how often you contact your customers matters, okay? So what if you have never followed up with your customers, or you don't have a good, consistent way to do it? It's okay. Start where you are and start today, okay? Start by starting, remember? I personally love the 113 method, which is 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months. And there are a couple of different systems out there. There's a 222 and a 113. I prefer the 113 because I have found over the last 3 years of using this method consistently that by the time I reach out to my customers around that 1 month mark, and especially the 3 month mark, they're already telling me that they were just thinking about me. Oh, I was going to call you. I had my bulb blow, or I need some fresh wax. I'm glad you contacted me. And that makes me feel good that they say that to me, because I know that tells me that I'm doing my job and I'm doing it consistently, right? And I'm doing what I need to be doing. So there is so much information out there everywhere. We are super informed. So the information, I promise you, is out there on a follow-up system. You can even go to any of these search places and type in Scentsy follow-up system. We just have to use our resources, right? They're out there. We just got to go find them. So I encourage you to do that if you don't have a consistent follow-up system, because the follow-up fortune is definitely in the follow-up. I tend to gear my follow-up conversations with my customers as a satisfaction check-in rather than a sales pitch. So what that might look like for me when I reach out to my customers is something like, hey, Susie Joe, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to check in with your coconut lemongrass wax. How do you like that fresh scent? And I try to, be specific in what I'm following up with, and asking them a question that they need to answer, kind of need to answer. But your mindset and your heart and how you approach follow-up is really important. If you come at your follow-ups as a way to check in with them, with what they spent their hard-earned money on with you, if you're just checking in on that, it's received a little bit better than if you're just checking in with them to see if they're ready to buy from you again. That's just from my personal experience, in my opinion, since I've been consistently following up with my customers. It does matter how you approach them. I always tell my team, approach people the way that you would want to be approached, right? And as Orville always says, keep your arrows out. Make your follow-ups about them and not about you, okay? All right, R, response, reason, and results. I couldn't decide which R to go with, so I went with them all. So here we go, response. Because this goes with the follow-up, I'll start there. So it took me about 3 years of running my business. 3 or 4 years of running my business to actually implement a system of my follow-up, because I was scared. I feared that follow-up. I was scared to follow up with anybody that wasn't my really close friend or family. And that was a mistake I made a long time ago, that I kept making that mistake for a couple of years. And I lost so many customers over the years of just not touching base with them and not developing a relationship with those customers because I was afraid of what they would say or not say. But it's been a little while ago now, but I heard a superstar director, Debbie Pitts Palmer, she said in a training about follow-up that you have to detach yourself from the response. And that to me was a total game changer in my business and in my follow-up. Whether they order again after you followed up with them, or whether they leave you on red, or whether they ghost you or whatever, whether they say no thank you, or whether they just tell you everything's good, thanks for checking in, it shouldn't really matter what their response is at all, right? You've got a job to do. What should matter is your customer care. You have to remember that our customers purchase a consumable product from us. So it's our job to check in with them and make sure that they like it. And we have a satisfaction guarantee. So you want to make sure that your customers are happy. There's been times when I've checked in with my customers after they've had their product for a month, and I've, told them, hey, I'm just checking in to see how you like your 6 wax bars you got. And I'll list, I'll try to get specific and list the names of them, or at least a couple of them. And I've had people come back and say, I just didn't care for that aloe water and cucumber. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you told me. Let's see how I can make this better. And, I try to offer whatever I can within reason, right? And you do the same with your business. And, I try to make it right by my customers. But I'm glad that I asked them, because had I not asked, she would have, not been happy with something. So it does matter that you come at your customers with your follow-up from a place of just making sure that they're happy. And that's going to come from within your heart, to make sure that you're, just loving on your customers and serving them well. All right. So reason. You've got to know your reason for being a consultant and choosing Scentsy. So with a fresh start to the new year, I think it's a good time to revisit your reason. Some call it their why, other people call it their purpose. But it really has to be a strong one, because if it's weak, or if it's not very strong at all, it's going to be incredibly easy to place your business responsibilities on the back burner and come up with excuses not to work your business. It's totally okay if the reason that you joined Scentsy is not the same reason that you're here now. I mean, I joined 7 years ago just to pay off a Christmas credit card. And I was already in another direct sales at the time, and I just thought, well, I'll just give it a try. But I stay for 7 years and longer, because I'm a Scentsy lifer, because of the friendships that I have found within my customers and teammates, and also with the fulfillment that I get. I'm a teacher. I'm a former educator, and so I get fulfillment from helping people within my team, and anybody who needs my help, get what it is that they want out of this business. I'm an encourager, y'all. Y'all Enneagrams, anybody does the Enneagram? I'm an flat even 2 and a 6. So I'm a people pleaser. I'm a helper. I'm a loyalist. Anyway, so that's just part of my personality. So to be in Scentsy and still be able to fulfill my educator's heart is a big deal for me. So that's one of the reasons that I stay. Another reason that I am staying here, and one of my biggest reason, I'll just say that, my biggest reason, is for my children. And that may sound like, oh, everybody says that, right? Family's important, but it is family first, right? And I'm able to do what I do from home. Hashtag income disclosure. If somebody wants to post that and whatnot. I'm not really going to talk about money, but maybe just for, just in case. I'm able to attend all of my oldest child's things at school, awards day, all the programs, anything that he wants me to be there for. Even if he doesn't want me to be there, I'm going to be there anyway. I'm home with my youngest, my 4-year-old, until she gets ready to start school. And I get to enjoy those little moments with them, right? And that's important to me personally, because my parents were never able to do that for me and my sister, because they worked so hard to provide for us outside of the home, and they also worked in another state. Again, remember at the beginning of this, we live really close to another state. But anyway, so they worked really far away from where we went to school, and they just weren't able to attend things. Like, I can literally count on one hand how many soccer games my dad ever attended, because he was at work. So anyway, all that to say that my reason is very strong in the fact that I want to be present in my children's lives when they're little, and throughout. I want to be here for them for as long as they'll have me. And so Scentsy allows me to be able to do that. Okay. Results. That's the next part of the R. The results that you get out of this business is a direct reflection of what you're putting in. Let's say you followed up with 10 people today and only got 1 response. Fam, you're doing really well to only have gotten 1 response if you followed up with 10 people, okay? Let's say that you asked 1 person, 1 good girlfriend, to host a party with you for the new catalog, and she says no. That's about right. If you want to hear more yeses, you got to ask more people. It really is a numbers game. And I would highly suggest trying the 100 No's challenge if you all have never done that. It sound a little bit intimidating, but 100 No's, it's don't put a time frame on it, or maybe do but don't. Don't set such a harsh deadline that you feel like, oh my God, I can't get 100 No's this month. If you're kind of like me and you're a little bit introverted and you still kind of, sometimes get a little bit of afraid of that no when it comes at you, but maybe do like 10 a week. 10 a week for 10 weeks until you get 100 no's. But here's one thing that I learned the very first time I ever did the 100 no challenge about 6 years ago now. I would mark off, I had like squares on a page, right? And I would mark off a square when I asked someone. So they hadn't answered me yet. And I would mark that. I was like, oh, that's another one. Oh, yay, I've done 20 today. But that was only because I asked 20 people. That's not how it works. It works when you ask 20 people and you get 20 no's, right? So keep that in mind whenever you decide to do the 100 no's challenge. There are going to be a lot of no's along your Scentsy journey. That's one thing I learned recently. I cannot remember who said it, but they said something about the difference between an essential consultant and a superstar director is the amount of no's the superstar director has heard. So you got to be willing to talk to people. You got to be willing to open your mouth and ask. And you got to be willing to accept the fact that there's going to be a lot of no's. But guess what? There is a great big beautiful yes with your name on it out there. And you got to go and find it. Okay? As my superstar director, Shannon Grant, always says, success and happiness lie within you. So you got to go and get it. Okay? All right. E, excitement, engagement, enjoyment. Again, couldn't really choose an E, so I went with all of them. So how many of you, especially if you've been around with Scentsy for a while, how many of you find sometimes you're a little bit bored in your business? Yeah, like bored. Maybe you've been in the business for a while when you find yourself bored of the same song and dance sometimes, like maybe after the holiday rush, feel a little burnt out and bored. Maybe after the summer holiday or summer months. I don't know, different times throughout the year, but sometimes it can happen. You get a little bit bored doing the same thing day in and day out, right? Well, heads up, we work for a really amazing company that always has our best interests at heart, and they're always offering us things to help us be successful, but also to keep our customers engaged and excited, such as the LTOs. We just got one today, right? Anybody got any excitement for that one? The Bring Back My Bar, Harvest Holiday Summer Collections, Buddy Releases, amazing new products that we've got in this new catalog, bumping up a catalog release date. That's pretty exciting, right? All the things. But we as independent business owners just have to decide what we want to do with what we've been given by our incredible company, okay? So, but what if you do crave more in your business? What if you want some more excitement in your business? Well, I got to ask you, if you want more out of your business, how excited are you about this new catalog release? Are you sharing that with your customers and your following of people? Because people feed off of your energy. So what you're putting out there, you're going to receive back. So if you're not really hyped up and excited about this catalog, you're probably not going to get that type of response back. So think about the kinds of things that you enjoy doing in your business. And if some things maybe aren't as fun anymore, then it's time to have some reflection and think about those things and think about how you can make them fun again. So for instance, to make your business more fun again, maybe you can do things like revamp your packaging to make it seasonally fun. I recently did that. I used to hate packaging orders because I would use those plastic bags back there. I only have those in case of emergency now, but I still use them sometimes, but I still make them like, sparkly. Anyway, I digress. I used to not enjoy packaging because I'm not a creative person. I've always told myself that I'm not creative, I'm not crafty. So my packages would not look very cute. I would have like, some cutesy bags and ribbon and curling ribbon, and it would still look decent, but not great, I guess. But I have since changed that because I've told myself for so long that I'm not creative that recently I've been like, but you're going to try to be. And so I've stepped out of my comfort zone and started doing some things with my packaging to make them more fun for my customers. And it makes it fun for me, actually, in my business to do some fun things that are seasonally appropriate and holiday appropriate. And my customers love it too. One thing I did do recently over between Halloween and Christmas was I got my kids involved, and they would color name tags for my customers. Like I would just print off pumpkins or Christmas trees off the internet and let them color it. Because it gave me a break from my littlest while I was trying to do work and package things, keep her a little bit, entertained and distracted by coloring name tags. And then I would just cut them out and I would write their name on it. And on the back side of it, I would write that these were made by Cece and Kellen. And Kellen's old enough he could write his own name. They loved it. They didn't even care what was inside of the package or what it looked like. They loved the name tag. That the coloring was like crazy, right? But that was fun for them, and it was actually fun for me, and it was fun for my kids. So something else you could do in your business to kind of spruce things up a little bit is offer your customers a craft night. I just did my first one, and I'm not a crafty person, and it was really fun. Everybody really enjoyed it. A bingo or a game night at your house. Maybe you want to try the themed monthly boxes, like the personalized whiff boxes or scent crates that people do personally. Make their own kind of. Maybe you can add an element of fun and surprise to your orders or your mail outs and do like a golden ticket. Not for everybody, of course. You want to do that randomly. Maybe you want to have more one-on-one sniff sessions at a coffee shop. Maybe you want to completely redo your bag and basket parties. I do those every catalog season because I get so much inspiration from you guys and what you all post and do and trainings and things. And so I redo those often. Maybe you're going to make it your mission to design and have a successful Facebook party finally. That's something I need to work on. Maybe you're going to theme out your home parties. But what can you do different? What can you do exciting in your business? How can you make it more exciting again? These things that I just listed are not my own ideas. I just told you I'm not creative. I got these ideas from other consultants who were doing them, and I thought they sounded fun, which at that time was exactly what I needed in my business. So I gave them a try. Some of them I've liked them, some of them I didn't like them, some of them I had success with, some of them I didn't. But the point is that I actually tried to do something different because I knew my business needed something different. Okay? So I went out there and I did the research to figure out what might work in my business for me and my customers. And I do that all the time, or do it frequently, to try to keep things fresh and fun for them and for me. All right, if your activation energy to do something different in your business is low, you've got to figure out what excites you and brings you joy from your business. So let's say you try a game night and no one shows up. Or maybe your first ever Facebook party was a flop. Or maybe your host bailed on your home party the night before you were supposed to have the home party. Be reflective of the situation, but try to be consistent. Meaning, this is what something my superstar director told me to do is when you have, failures like that happen, and they can be disheartening and discouraging, right? Try to give it at least 3 chances. Meaning, before you write it all the way off. Meaning, like, okay, my first game night, no one showed up. Well, maybe I'll try it again next month and see what happens. Give it 3 chances before you just completely write it off. Maybe your first Facebook party did not go well. Okay, well, I'm going to reflect on what I did and maybe try to do some research on some other Facebook parties to see what I could do a little bit differently. And keep trying it before I just completely write it off as something I don't want to do in my business anymore. But here's the thing. No one can work your business for you but you. And if your energy about your business is low, it's going to be noticed and it's going to be felt by your customers and by your team. So do something. Find anything that's going to raise your level of excitement in your business, because that's going to excite and engage your customers, and everyone's going to enjoy it, including, but maybe especially you. Okay? All right, S. We're almost done, guys. Serve others and share on social media your Scentsy lifestyle. All right, 2 things. Number 1, if you've kind of picked up a little bit from what I've been talking about, maybe you've picked up a little bit on a theme, which is service. My SSD, Shannon, is always trying to instill in her team that to serve your customers and serve them well and serve them from a place in your heart. Treat others the way that you want to be treated and do right by them all the time. Those are things that she's taught me from, the last 7 years. And I implement those in my business every day as best I can. Serving your customers is going to look different from other consultants, and it should, because we're all independent business owners, right? So look for new ideas for things to try, and be inspired by other people. I mean, there's a million trainings out there, from YouTube to Facebook. Facebook to your workstation. There's stuff out there. You just gotta go and be willing to find it. Like I always tell my team, when you find an idea and you're inspired by someone else, take some of it and put your spin on it. Make it you, right? Because no one else can do it the way that you can do it. right? So put your spin on it. But like I tell my team over any training they watch or any idea that they see that they think they might want to try, I always tell them, remember, take some, try some, trash some, because that's always usually what's going to happen. Not everything's going to work for you, but you just have to be willing to try to find what does work for you. Okay. We are cruising right along. Your customer care and your service is what sets you apart from other consultants. Remember that folks will not remember what you did for them, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. So just serve your customers from a place in your heart that feels right and authentic and generous to you, okay? Social media. Not my favorite topic to talk about because there's so many differing opinions on how to use it within your personal business. But I always tell my team, do what feels authentic to you, not what someone else is doing. I tend to personally lean on the side of private for my social medias, but I do believe that you can share how you're using Scentsy and that we're not just a sales company, but this is an actual whole lifestyle. Scentsy lifers included in their daily lives anyway, and they share that with their customers and with their following. So another thing that you can do on social media is utilize your stories feature. If you're not familiar with those, you're going to want to research them. You can actually see who sees your stories, which is kind of neat. You can see who's watching, but maybe they're not engaging. Maybe they're not interacting with the love or the like button or typing in anything to comment, but they're watching you, right? Because you can see them watching you. Maybe you can start catering your Scentsy stories to your audience. When I was a teacher, my principal used to always tell us, know your audience, know who's watching you, right? Know who's around, know who's watching you. So when you know your audience, you start to figure out what to talk to them about. So when you know who's watching your Scentsy stories, you can kind of figure out what you might need to be gearing in your Scentsy stories towards any potential customers or potential anything, any host, teammate, etc. But be authentic in your sharing. Maybe you can share pictures of your kids with their Scentsy buddies, or maybe when you're cleaning the kitchen with the counter cleaner, the all-purpose cleaner. Maybe when you're changing your wax, or when you've left your clothes in the washer overnight, but whiffs and an express cycle will fix that. Give tips and product advice in your stories and on your social media. Folks love fun facts. So add value to your social media audience, because that's selling, not sharing. Establish relationships with your customers. Get to know them. This is where the follow-up is pretty important. You're only going to be able to establish a relationship with your customers. Like, for instance, your stranger customers that you get from bag parties or from online parties that you don't know them. You don't know who they are, but they're supporting your business and you appreciate that, right? But the only way you're going to be able to build a relationship with those people is if you're following up with them, and more than one time, okay? So, some choose to add these people from basket parties or online orders. They choose to add them to their social media as a friend. Others choose to invite them to their VIP group or to their public business pages, to like their business pages. Whatever that looks like and feels authentic to you, do that, okay? But know that you are in the business of building relationships that will lead to loyal customers and possible hosts and even teammates, and maybe more importantly, new friends, okay? So how many times have you heard that folks shop from those that they know, like, and trust? If you've been with Scentsy a while, you've probably heard that a lot. So be that person. Be the consultant that they know, like, and trust, the consultant who turns their customers into friends, okay? H, habits. Our lives are a direct reflection of our daily choices, okay? What does your normal day look like? Is it more than likely it's habitual. So maybe you have the alarm go off, you hit the coffee button, you have your daily devotion and your prayer, you immediately get on your phone and check your workstation, your email, your social medias, all the things. Then you got to wake up kids and get breakfast and rush them out the door, and then you do your whole day, and then you come home at night and you've got homework and dinner and baths and bedtime routines and all those things before you might have a little bit of time at the evening to do some, social media scrolling or watch some Netflix or read a book or something. I don't know. Of course, that's like a condensed version of what my day normally looks like, and I chose not to put things in the middle of that description because there are certain days when I choose not to work my Scentsy business. I need to take a day off, right? That's a choice that I have. But it's one choice that if I decide to make it a habit, I might not have a job to come back to. So I have to be really careful in what my choices are because they can easily become a habit. All right, I have found over the last 7 years that we can easily overwhelm ourselves with all the things that we think we need to be doing in our business. If you're a woman, you'll probably naturally have like 50-11 web browsers open at one time in your brain, and so there's no extra room for anything that doesn't matter. We barely have space and we barely have extra time to work our business, it feels like. But this is why it's imperative to have a system in place to tackle your task list. The neat thing that I've discovered about my task list, my system that works for me, is that those things on my task list are actually becoming habits because I'm doing them all the time and I'm doing them on a schedule and I'm doing them within a system. And it's a choice to do that. So whether you have a fancy little checklist on Excel or maybe you just have a piece of paper, thank you, Ray Dunn, to cross off your task list, or maybe you use the reminder section of your phone. It doesn't matter. You just have to have a system in place so that you know what you need to do when you have the time to work your Scentsy business. And this is specifically for people who may not do Scentsy full time. But I will tell you, as someone who's been doing Scentsy full time now for couple of years, it's a choice you have to make to work your Scentsy business. Because I could wake up every morning and decide I don't feel like doing anything today. I could wake up every morning and decide to stay in my pajamas, which I do stay in my pajamas most days, but I could stay on the couch all day and not do anything if I didn't want to. That's a choice I have to make. So you have to decide what it is that you need to do in your day. Now, sometimes we spend too much time trying to figure out what it is we need to be doing in our Scentsy business in a day. So I highly encourage finding 15 to 30 minutes sometime within the next couple of days and just write down all the tasks that you do in your Scentsy business in any given day, week, and month, okay? But what I want you to do first and foremost is just literally take a sheet of paper and write down all the tasks. Everything that you do, from sample making to deliveries to labeling to ordering to coaching to posting on social media, all the things. Just write them down. What are the things that you do in your business, right? Then you can try to lump them into the categories of what you do daily, weekly, and monthly. I did try this system a while back, and I'm a big advocate for if something's not working for you, reflect on it and change it to something that will work for you, right? Because you'll work for it and it'll work for you. But I was trying this daily, weekly, monthly checklist, and it really wasn't working out for me because I would get really upset when I wouldn't get Monday done, and so Tuesday I had to do all of Tuesday and all of Monday, and that would like stress me out and give me anxiety that there was too much to do, too many things to do. So I happened to be on one of these trainings, and I saw someone, a director, I'm not sure who, had this one sheet, literally one sheet front and back, and she has all of her tasks up here, all of her income producing, important, gonna run your business, gonna get you where you need to get to your goals task list, right? And it's literally for the whole year. This whole sheet is for the year. She decided to break her task up into weeks. So week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then each month is listed across the top. And she has tasks for her personal business and for her leadership or her team, right? So I took that idea and I ran with it. And I got on Excel and I created this little grid and put up there all of my tasks. So I know that in a week, these are the things that I need to be doing. Now, can I add or subtract to that? Sure. But these are the things that have to get done in that week in my business and in my leadership to make sure that I am using my time wisely and doing the things that are going to be income producing and are going to get me where I'm trying to get. Okay. And I love that it's one sheet of paper. It just stays on my desk. Okay, that works for me. It may not work for you. I can't promise that it will. I also use the reminder section of my phone because I will forget. I am a mom, have mom brain. It's a real thing. So, what I would suggest you doing is trying to find a system that works for you so that you know whenever you have the time and you find the time, you make the time, right? You prioritize the time to work your Scentsy business, whether you have a couple of hours a day or whether you only have 1 hour a day to work your Scentsy business, that you know when you sit down and it's time to work, that you know what things you're working on, right? Things that are most important. Anything that is not on this list, I know is what is called fluffy work, and it's not important. Is it fun? Sure. Should I do it? Yeah, if I have the time. But these are the things that I have to get done. Okay. So as business owners, we want to work, whether you want to work this business as a hobbyist and just get paid on your purchases, or maybe get some free and half off Scentsy every once in a while by serving your close circle of family and friends, or maybe you're in this to do big things. I don't know. But the decision, working your business is a decision that you have to make to allow your daily habits to work for your goals. Okay, work towards your goals. No matter how big or small your goals are, or our goals are in our businesses, we have to carve out the time to do the things that will get us closer to our goals, or it's not going to happen. So stop wasting precious time, the little bit of time that we do have, trying to figure out what you should be doing. Go ahead and be thinking about that now so that you can come up with your system that's going to help you with your task list every day, every week, every month to help you work your business and get where it is that you're trying to go. Okay? Like Deanie, my word of 2020 is intentional. Good intentions, not self-serving ones. But I want to be intentional with my time this year, do things with a purpose and on purpose. I want to know what I want and go out there and find it, and do the things that are going to get me to my big vision for 2020. And all that's going to happen through a fresh start and a fresh look into my business for this year and for this new catalog season. So thank you guys for being here, for showing up for your business, for allowing me to share a little bit with you all and to ramble some of my thoughts. But I hope that this will get your thoughts going and flowing in a good direction for your business and for this new catalog season. If y'all have any questions, you can leave them below and I'll try my very best to answer it. But y'all have a good night. Thanks so much.